Hello, I am Dr. Pramod Kumar, MD, currently working in the Department of Geriatric Medicine at AIIMS, New Delhi. Today, the topic of discussion is common health problem among the elderly. As you would have observed in the community and among people around yourself, that older people fall sick very often. And even if they are not sick, they have multiple diseases and they take a lot of medication. Well, this is a reality that has been proved in studies. It has been seen that in older adults more than 60 of age, up to 60 to 70% of the older adults may have more than 2 diseases and may be taking 4 to 5 medications simultaneously on a daily basis. Many of these people have difficulty in carrying out their day-to-day activities like shopping, banking, traveling, etc. And when they are sick, they are not able to carry out even their self-care activities and need assistance for activities like bathing, toileting and feeding. And hence, the older adults are the especially vulnerable part of the society, and caregivers have a very special role in helping these older adults maintain their health and functionality. Different older adults might have different issues to handle. Some of them may be paralyzed, while others may have undergone a surgery and may need post-operative assistance, while some may have chronic aches and pain associated with aging. To be able to handle this patient and make them comfortable, it is important that the caregiver understand the human body, its functioning and the diseases. Here, we will introduce the common ailments of the older adult, their identification and their management at home, so that the knowledge will bring awareness and help the caregiver serve the older patient better. In this discussion, we will cover these following topics, which will include heart attack, hypertension, diabetes, stroke, cataract, arthritis and back pain, and last of all, dementia. So to begin with, we'll first discuss about the heart and the circulatory system and the diseases that is associated with this organ system. The heart and the circulatory system is divided into two main parts, the heart and the blood vessels. The heart is a small organ about the size of a fist and weighing about 200 to 400 grams, located in the center of the chest, just behind the chest bone and slightly towards the left. The main function of the heart is to pump the blood and circulate it throughout the body through the blood vessels. The blood is the transport system within the body which carries oxygen and nutrients to various organs through the arteries and capillaries and then return back to the heart through the veins. Now, the diseases of the heart and the blood vessels are known as cardiovascular diseases. It includes diseases like heart attack and stroke that are acute and severe outcome and life-threatening, while in the long term, there are diseases like heart failure, kidney failure and dementia that may occur because of cardiovascular complications. So, overall, it has been seen that cardiovascular diseases are the most common cause of death worldwide and even in India. So, before we move ahead, I would like to introduce you to some of the healthy lifestyle tips for the prevention of cardiovascular diseases. It includes, number one is the physical activity. Every adult is advised to work out moderate intensity exercise at least 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. In addition, they can do relaxation technique like meditation and yoga and try to avoid stress as much as possible. Dietary habits is also included, which include avoidance of excess fat, sugars, simple sugar especially, and excess of salt, and take in food which are rich in vitamins, minerals and dietary fibers. Then another important habit is to avoid smoking and limit the use of alcohol. And finally, there should be regular health checkup, especially after the age of 60 years. They should have regular health checkup for the proper control of their BP, blood sugar and cholesterol levels. So now we'll talk about heart attack, which is medically also known as acute coronary syndrome or myocardial infarction. It is a serious condition in which the supply of the blood to the heart is severely reduced or stopped, resulting in insufficient supply to the heart tissue, causing death or impairment of function of some part of the heart tissue. It presents with symptoms like chest pain and chest discomfort. It's a tightening pain and it may radiate to the jaws, the shoulder or the arms, and it will be associated with sweating, lightheadedness, dizziness, nausea, which is the feeling of vomiting, and fatigue or tiredness. it is very important that the caregiver should know about the disease. The main role of caregiver is to make the patient comfortable in lying position, inform the family members, call the doctor, and try to shift the patient to a medical care as soon as possible. In rare instances, if the patient is not responsive or a pulse is not palpable, they may be required to do CPR, which will be covered in next lectures. So, early identification and referral to a specialized hospital can be life-saving and prevent complication for patients with heart attack. Now, we'll talk about hypertension. Hypertension is one of the most common diseases that is seen in older adults. It may affect up to about 50% of the patients aged 60 years and above. Hypertension is diagnosed when the blood pressure remains above the normal range, that is 120 by 80 mmHg for persistently. Primarily, it is a disease of the blood vessel and the heart, but over years it affects other body organs like kidney, brain, and leads to many complications. The symptoms of hypertension can be very subtle. It includes symptoms like headache, tiredness, blushing of the face and skin, anxiety, chest discomfort, and it is usually missed unless usually diagnosed when visiting a doctor for routine checkup or when visiting a doctor for treatment of other diseases. Sometimes in rare instances it may present with severe symptoms which may include blurring of vision, chest pain, breathing difficulty, and severe headache. So, with regards to a caregiver, they should know how to monitor BP. For monitoring of BP, the patient should be in a relaxed form, rested for at least 5 minutes, preferably in a sitting position with legs touching the ground and arms by the side, and there should be no thick clothing over the arms. BP can be measured by a manual or automatic digital sphygmomanometers. If BP is above the normal readings, a repeat BP measurement should be done after 24 hours. Systolic BP of 120 to 139 mmHg or diastolic BP of 80 to 89 mmHg is said to be pre-hypertensive, while a reading of 140 above 140 and 90 mm of Hg is said to be hypertension. So, few measures that can be done at home includes avoiding smoking and limit alcohol intake, decrease dietary salt intake, regular exercise and yoga, regular medication as advised by the doctor, and blood pressure monitoring at home and follow up with the doctor as advised. For severe symptoms, the role of caregiver is very important. They should make the patient lie down in a comfortable position, check the blood pressure, and inform the family member and call the doctor at the same time. Now, we'll talk about another disease very common among older adults, which is diabetes, or medically known as type 2 diabetes mellitus. It is a metabolic disorder related to abnormal insulin production or impaired insulin utilization, or both. It alters the body ability to produce and or metabolize insulin, resulting in high blood glucose levels and resulting in many complications because of blood glucose levels. The risk factor for diabetes include obesity, include sedentary lifestyle, family history, and old age, among a few. And so, as discussed above, a healthy lifestyle is very important in preventing diseases like diabetes and hypertension. The diagnosis of diabetes is done when the blood sugar levels are raised. Reading of fasting blood sugar above 125 mg per deciliter is, or a postprandial 2-hour post-meal blood sugar levels of more than 200 mg per deciliter is said to be diabetes. So, how to identify diabetes? Diabetes is mainly present with excessive thirst, hunger, and excessive urination. It is associated with weight loss or weight gain. It may have slowed wound healing after injury, and there may be recurrent skin infections. Then there may be darkening of the skin in the area of the body creases, especially in the back and the neck region, known as acanthosis nigricans, and or they may sometimes present with tingling and numbness of the hand and the feet. Some long-term complications of diabetes are very common because it affects nearly almost all the organs of the body. They may present with diabetic retinopathy, which affects the eyes and decreases vision, diabetic nephropathy resulting in kidney impairment, disease like dementia, and also sometimes severe disease like a stroke and heart attack. The risk is also increased, which can be fatal. So, at home, few tips for the prevention and control of diabetes include again daily exercises like morning walk, yoga, running, or aerobics. Very important is healthy food choice. A dietitian should be consulted. The food should be low in fat, calorie, and salt, and should be more of include of complex carbohydrate and dietary fiber. Instead of a large meal, patient should have small meals in multiple times of a day throughout the day. Again, the patient should make sure to eat slowly, about 15 to 20 minutes for each meal. And lastly, they should visit the physician on a regular basis, get their blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol level checked, and also monitor them for complications like eye examination, renal function, kidney function test, and cholesterol level. A glucometer can be used at home to monitor for glucose at home. Then, very important to mention few caretaking point at home. This include like the caregiver should know which medication to give at what time and in what dose. If the patient has been prescribed insulin, the caretaker should know the dose of the insulin, the timing of insulin, and also the site of injection and the technique of injection. The caretaker should also know the quantity and the timing of the meal of the patient. Then it is very important that the caretaker should know the symptoms of hypoglycemia, which is basically low blood sugar levels. Now, hypoglycemia episodes can be very dangerous and should be identified early. It presents with symptoms like sweating, hunger, anxiety. Patient may have tremors, dizziness, or fast pounding heartbeats and chest discomfort, or decreased sensorium. In these cases, it's usually occur in the background of increased dose of medication or missed meal after taking medication, or in background of infection or any stress. So, if a hypoglycemia episode is suspected, the caretaker should possibly try to check blood glucose level if possible at home, give the patient something sweet to eat, and if the patient is too drowsy to eat anything, they can use a sugar syrup or a sugar paste in mouth can be placed. And very important, visit the nearby hospital immediately. Similarly, patient may also have hyperglycemia, which is very high blood sugar levels, which again can be preceded by low dose of the medication, missed dose of medication, or because of any stress or infection. Again, the patient will present with symptoms of generalized weakness, fatigue, and drowsiness, and in that case the patient should visit a nearby hospital and get blood sugar levels checked. And also, if the doctor advises, the patient and the caretaker should monitor and maintain blood sugar diary using a glucometer at home, especially when the blood sugars are not very well controlled and the medications are changed. Now, we'll move on to the next disease, which is stroke, or in medically known as cerebrovascular accidents. It is basically the sudden death of some of the brain cells due to lack of oxygen. When the blood flow to the brain is impaired or blocked by the rupture of is blocked, or because of blockage of the artery or the rupture of the artery. If it is because of blockage of the artery, it is known as ischemic stroke. If it is because of rupture of the artery, it is known as hemorrhagic stroke. So, it will present as difficulty in walking, imbalance, the patient may have dizziness, there may be loss of coordination, loss of balance. The patient may have difficulty in speaking, there may be slurring of his speech, or the patient may have difficulty in understanding the speech. Also, there may be paralysis of numbness of one side of the face, the leg, or the arm. Usually it is limited to one side and there will be asymmetry. Then the patient may have sudden onset blurring of vision or diminished vision, blindness, or the patient may have sudden onset severe headache, which is associated with nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. So, the caregiver should remember when to and how to identify stroke symptoms. A very easy mnemonic for that is known as FAST. In FAST, F means facial deviation or drooping. A means arm and leg weakness or numbness. S means slurring of speech or speech difficulty, and T means time, that is time to act fast and take the patient to the nearby hospital. It has got a very narrow window period, and if the patient reaches a hospital within 3 to 6 hours, this severe complication can be prevented and can be life saving. Then now we'll discuss about other disease. It includes cataract. Cataract is a dense cloudy area that forms in the lens of the eye. The cataract begins when protein clumps in the lens of the eye and prevent sending of clear images to the retina. The retina then send the images through signals to the brain. So, why it is important? Because cataract is a age related, common, and most important, it is a very easily treatable cause of blindness. Cataract can be treated by a daycare surgery. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes and it results in complete restoration of vision in about 1 week. So, sign and symptoms of cataract included cloud, blurred or dim vision, increasing difficulty of vision at night, and increasing need of brighter light for reading and other activities. Patient may have a frequent change of eyeglasses or contact lens prescription. At the same time, patient may also have sensitivity to light and glare, seeing halos around the light, and fading or yellowing of colors. So, the role of caregiver will be to assess the patient for the degree of visual impairment. If there is visual impairment, the patient should be taken to a hospital, seen by a doctor and get his vision checked, and if possible corrected, because it, again, as I said, it is a completely correctable cause of blindness. For diminished vision, a few measures can be taken, like ensure a proper lighting in the house, ensure a proper and safe environment around the patient, keep the patient's glasses and call bell within reach. Then we'll move on to the next disease, which is arthritis or joint pain. So, arthritis is basically inflammation of the joint. It can affect multiple joints, and there may be around many types of arthritis, but two of the most common arthritis that affect the older adults are osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. So, osteoarthritis is basically because of degeneration and age related, and it affects the large joints like the knee and the hip, while rheumatoid arthritis is an inflammatory arthritis and it affects mainly the small joints of the hand. The signs and symptoms of arthritis include joint pain, stiffness, swelling, redness around the joint, which results in decreased range of motion around that joint. In case of inflammatory arthritis like rheumatoid arthritis, patient can also have additional symptoms like loss of appetite, fever, weakness, tiredness, etc., along with anemia and stiffness that is more in the morning hours and improves as the day progresses. So, the role of the caregiver would be number 1, assist the patient in physiotherapy. A physiotherapist should be consulted, and according to the prescription, physiotherapy should be done daily at least once or twice with the assistance of the caregiver. Second is avoid injury to the joints, protect your joints. Then for pain control, the patient can be given medication as prescribed by the doctor or use of hot and cold fomentation. Another similar complaint that affect the older adult is back pain. Back pain is one of the most disabling health conditions seen in older adults above 60 years of age. The symptoms of back pain is basically pain that can be either suddenly after lifting an object or because of injury, or it can progress gradually over days and weeks. It might be localized to the spine or spread around the spine area, and sometimes even radiate to the lower limbs and the buttocks. Then it can the pain mainly ranges from, it can be mild to extremely severe, and sometimes it can be dull and achy type, or sometimes in the stabbing and sharp and burning and throbbing types. And very important is that back pain, if very severe, can affect the nerves that are supplying the legs and can cause weakness of one or both the legs, numbness and tingling in the legs and muscle cramps and spasms, resulting in the patient getting bedbound or wheelchair bound. So, the role of the caregiver in managing patient with back pain is again physiotherapy, light exercises as prescribed by the physiotherapist, then prescription of medication for pain control and other medications, and application of hot and cold packs for pain control. The patient should be taught to maintain a proper body posture so that there is less stress on the back, and also teach them lifting techniques so that there is no sudden injury to the back. And then last but not the least, we'll talk about dementia. Dementia is a brain disorder which is one of the most devastating illness of old age. Dementia increases with advancing age. It is associated with forgetfulness, mainly the chief complaint is forgetfulness, but it also results in personality changes and behavioral problems. And ultimately, these problems result in change in the individual's ability to work, to fulfill social and family responsibility, and to perform daily activities of living. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. The number of those affected with dementia is also growing in India. About 1 in 20 person aged above 60 years may be affected with dementia, some form of dementia, and for the age group of above 80 years, 1 in 5 patients, 1 of 5 individuals may be affected with dementia. So, how to identify dementia? The signs and symptoms of dementia includes forgetfulness. It begins with benign forgetfulness, but it gradually progresses from mild to severe stage of the diseases. The first symptom is loss of short-term memory or the inability to remember recent events. Patient may forget what he did a few days or few hours back and may be unable to recall its detail. Patient may forget the simple words, what words to use, and may substitute it with irrelevant words or expressions. People may forget their familiar surroundings, get disoriented, and may have difficulty in finding their way to the house and may get lost also. Then difficulty in carrying out simple calculations like adding, subtracting, multiplying, which they were able to do previously. These patients may also show poor judgment in social situations and do not know how to react in simple household emergencies, like when a fire break out, or there is a leak, water leak, or there is a small accident in the house. These patients also face difficulty in performing day-to-day activity that they used to do earlier. For example, they used to cook earlier or operate an oven or make telephone call, which they may not be able to do at present. Then they frequently misplaces objects and forget where they kept them, and sometimes even place them in unusual places, like placing a wristwatch in a bowl of sugar or a plastic container over a gas stove. Then they may exhibit rapid change in mood or fluctuation in mood. For example, they may be in a very happy and joyous mood and then suddenly become very tearful and sad, or may have a sudden rage of anger and agitation for no apparent reason. The patient may also experience depression of some degree. Then patients suffering from Alzheimer's disease may become very passive. They may lose interest in things that used to do earlier and stay within themselves. They may become bedbound and lose interest in other activities. And also these patients then in advanced stages suffer from many complications. For example, because of poor feeding habit, they may suffer from dehydration and malnutrition. They may have problem with bladder and bowel control. They may have recurrent infection, aspiration. Then disease like seizures may occur. Then because of being bedbound or wheelchair bound, they may have pressure sores, and they may have recurrent fall and injuries. And then finally they succumb to one of these complications like any injury or infection. The role of caregiver in managing patient in dementia is very important. So first is how to communicate with the patient with dementia. A caregiver should talk softly, slow, and in small sentences. Give time to the patient to understand of what is being said, and most important, do not argue or criticize. They must acknowledge their request and respond to them. Look for reasons behind each behavioral changes and try to respond to them. Then secondly, they should try to reduce environmental confusion. The patient should have a familiar location. For example, he should stay in the same room and in the same house. He should be oriented to time and place and person around them frequently, and they should try to maintain a familiar, simple and safe environment. Then they can be provided with simple environmental cues, for example labels, reminder notes and pictures such as memory cues, help them carry out their day-to-day work easily. Then at the same time, they should be allowed maximum independence and freedom and avoid the use of physical restraint. Reduce anxiety provoking situation in daily routine. Then patient should have an enhanced quality of life by offering them multiple opportunities of fulfillment like music or any other hobbies, or games that they used to do previously and enjoy previously. And also there should be a provision of light physical exercises on a regular basis. Then these patients may require rehabilitation. For example, if they have difficulty in walking, they should be given walking aid. Visual and hearing aid is very important if they have visual and hearing impairment, and regular physiotherapy should be prescribed, and also they should be trained for bladder and bowel habits. A very important caregiver tip for this patient is fall prevention, because these patients are very prone to falls. So fall prevention measures will include again physiotherapy and walking aid, wall railings in their room, especially from their bedside to the washroom. Then a proper lighting should be there in the room, and they should avoid clutters or loose rag on the floor to avoid falling. Then it's very important to follow up with your physician and give the medications as advised by the physician. So now I would like to conclude by saying that the population of older adults is sharply rising in our country. It's high time that the public should be made aware of the common problem of the old age and be prepared to take care for them. The older adult on their part should also know about their health and follow healthy lifestyle measure that has been advised above, as well as adjust to the new generation and the new technology to properly take care of themselves. Not only the individual and the family, but the society as a whole should be prepared to face the problem of older person. In the end, I would like to say that the most important when taking care of older patient is to have a strong will to care for the patient and also a lot of patience to take care of the older patients. Thank you.